Local 4 News starts now with a severe weather alert.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous midday right about now, but it's about to collide with a cold front, and that has an increasing chance now for severe weather in just a few hours. Good to have you with us this noon, everybody. Let's get right to forewarned meteorologist Ashley Barrissey, who's been monitoring the chances for severe weather all morning, Ashley.
Yeah, so the warmer, more beautiful it is right now, that's going to create more instability as that clashing cold front comes through a little bit later this afternoon. If you were with us this morning, we were under a slight risk for severe storms, level 2 out of 5. That has been upgraded since you last joined us to an enhanced risk from Sandusky to Howell all the way down to Monroe past the state line. Still looking at the threat for damaging wind gusts greater than 60 miles per hour. Large hail that could get up to about 2 inches in diameter. Putting that in perspective for you, that could be larger than golf ball size hail. Isolated flooding can't be ruled out in some of the real big downpours, but an isolated tornado will also be possible. That time frame still looking at about 3 to 7 p.m. You can see how that line is forming up to our northwest. Several lightning strikes with that line. In fact, a severe thunderstorm warning was just popping up to the northwest. As we look at this low pressure system, here's that cold front. The cooler air off in Wisconsin up towards Marquette. That's what's going to clash with our warm and humid conditions in Detroit, already sitting at 81 degrees. So as we take a live look at the downtown skyline, the calm truly before the storm. The city at 83, 82 in Howell, 79 in Pontiac, 81 in Adrian, and winds have been picking up. So now we have sustained winds coming out of the southwest, ushering in that warm, humid air mass around 14 miles per hour. Storm chances continue to increase throughout the afternoon, so we're still pretty calm until about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. By 4, we see a nice organized line that will likely be severe. That lasts with us until about 6 before we start to see things subside at 7. I'm going to walk you through that timeline in a couple minutes, but if you're heading out the door this afternoon, you certainly want to take the Forewarned Weather app with you on the go. Not only can you track radar in the palm of your hands, you can also time out the clearing line with our Futurecast and get notifications of any kind of severe weather warnings that come to our area.
We're following some breaking news out of Shelby Township connected to the fake elector scheme tied to the 2020 election. Some immediate consequences coming to Township Clerk Stanley Grott there, who is one of the 16 people charged with election fraud. Let's bring in Paula Tutman with what she's just learned. Good afternoon, Paula.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, this is a pretty serious start of the fall of dominoes here. Stanley Grott has been the township clerk for Shelby Township for more than a decade, but as of today, he has been stripped of any duties that have to do with elections. This is really, really important because this is the hallmark of what a clerk does. They oversee elections. He's been stripped by his elections duties by the Michigan Department of State, and that they are saying he must have nothing to do with elections until further notice. Now, as you said, Grott is one of 16 criminally charged with up to 80 years of election fraud felonies by the Michigan Attorney General, who alleges Grott, who alleges that Grott himself put himself forth as a phony elector. This is the allegation, in an effort to steal Michigan's vote from Joe Biden and award that vote to Donald Trump. So the letter that Grott received this morning stated that while he is innocent until proven guilty, the 7 felony charges are so severe and go to the core of his duties and the oath of office as well as mission that he can no longer have anything to do with elections. So keep in mind that in Michigan, municipal clerks, that's a nonpartisan election office. In fact, if you look at your ballot, generally you don't even see what that party is or that party affiliation. And part of that is because they take an oath to uphold the Constitution, but also make a promise to administer the process. In other words, to have an allegiance to the process, not the outcome. I talked to a clerk today who even explained they have administered elections where they lost the election. But it's that sanctity of that vote that is the major office, is the major duty of a clerk. So again, the state cannot remove him as the clerk. He's been elected to that office, but they are over the purview of his duties. And as of today, he has been stripped of those election duties. There has been a named successor while he fights these charges. We'll have much more on this in our evening news, this is breaking right now. Again, Stanley Grott, the Shelby Township clerk, for more than a decade, stripped of any duties having to do with elections. And it does, Jason, I want to say this, it also begs the question whether or not there will be any investigations in any of his previous elections. Keep in mind, he just administered the midterms for 2022. Jason?
Exactly right. Huge ramifications, to be sure. And Paula, we'll see you a little bit later. More breaking news we're following at noon. We've just learned a 20-year-old woman is in custody in connection to the discovery of 2 children that were abandoned in Madison Heights. Last night at 11, we told you about these 2 kids who were left near the dumpsters of Lamphere High School. We just received an update from police who say the children are a 2-year-old and a 4-week-old. The children were taken to the hospital. They are okay. Child Protective Services was notified, obviously, here. We're working right now to learn more about this story. We'll have another update on this story first at 4. The Lansing man accused of kidnapping 2-year-old Winter Cole Smith and stabbing and assaulting her mother appeared before a judge today. Rashad Trice faces several charges, including kidnapping and sexual assault in Ingham County and fleeing from police in Macomb County. Trice is likely to face more charges in connection to the toddler's homicide. As Priya Mann explains, this was a quick court appearance in Lansing today.
Appearing via video link during his preliminary exam, Rashad Trice weighed the 21-day timeline following his arraignment earlier this month. Trice potentially faces new charges in the homicide of 2-year-old Winter Cole Smith. The 26-year-old is currently charged with kidnapping Winter and sexually assaulting her mother. Police say the child's mother was stabbed and assaulted in Ingham County. Trice is accused of fleeing from police in Macomb County, and there are potential state charges after Winter's body was found in a Detroit alley. The 2-year-old had been strangled with a cell phone cord. In an effort to prevent the victim's family from having to travel to different courtrooms, AG Dana Nessel plans to consolidate the cases into one trial led by her office.
Are you willing to waive the 21-day timeline due to the fact that there are new charges that are pending and the Attorney General is still waiting on some reports?
Trice's federal charges, which could lead to the death penalty, will remain part of separate proceedings in federal court. I'm Priya Mann, Local 4.
Governor Gretchen Whitmer has signed a bill to allow drinking at certain college sporting events. The bill would allow 15 public universities to sell alcohol at football, hockey, and baseball games. Schools will have to apply for a license during the calendar year to obtain one. The University of Michigan, though, saying it does not expect to sell alcohol at the Big House this year. MSU, on the other hand, saying it plans to obtain one of those licenses, but it has not announced exactly when. More school suspensions and student transfers may be coming to the Detroit Schools Community District amid concerns around rising behavior issues. School administrators for the district are asking for more flexibility to issue out-of-school suspensions, like after they're caught fighting just one time. This would be a significant shift from the less strict policies put in place just 5 years ago. A new report shows home sales fell in June to the slowest pace since the beginning of the year. In fact, compared with June of last year, sales were 18.9% lower. The reason, simply there aren't enough homes for sale. On top of that, the average price of an existing home sold in June was $410,000. Experts say sales are unlikely to recover anytime soon as mortgage rates continue to rise and price people out of the homes they want to buy.